Welcome in, fellas, and we are live. It's your favorite show, Views from Their Stands, and I am your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and I got my main guys with me. We got the GM, George Mike, we got our guy, Brandon BC, in the building, and gents, we are live all over the place. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and newly added the Million Sports app, which we'll be getting to a little bit later on, and a new venture we might be getting involved with on that one. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a special episode for us. We're trying to do this more often. It's a Wednesday primetime show. We're going to try to do this between Wednesdays and Thursdays, get you a little bit of midweek sports action. So we're really looking forward to it. Just like always, we'd love it if you guys can like and subscribe so we can continue this going on. We really enjoyed it. We hope you guys do. We also allow you guys to be able to comment on the show. So if you're liking the take, let us know. If you don't like the take and feel like you can do something a little bit better, then please just let us know. We'll add you onto the show and we can debate it right then. Fellas, I know you guys are feeling really good out there, and let the people know how we can get a hold of you guys because we got a lot of bills to pay right now. So, G Mike, you got a special business going on. What you got going on, my man?
Yes, sir. Guys, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports betting slips, $5 a month to get you from anywhere from $10 to $50 to $100 of winnings daily. So hit me up on one of my socials, get in the DMs, we'll get you going. And real quick, really excited about this new partnership with Millions. It's going to be dope, a new platform that we could share the show on and get this shit going, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We really have a lot going on coming up with that, so it's a big new adventure coming up. BC, buddy, we love the company you got going on. Why don't you let the people know a little bit more about, man?
I mean, hey, it's a small business with me and my wife, brandS.media. We create memories that last a lifetime. If you or somebody you know, you got that special big day you're celebrating, a wedding, or hey, if you got somebody that's popping the question, or if you're going to be the one popping the question for that engagement, just hit us up at brandS.media. We got your photography, videography needs. In the Central Florida area, that's where we're based. However, we're always willing to branch out, travel. So if you got somebody that's across the country, they need the best that business has to offer, look no further than brandS.media.
Love it, man. Love it. Doing a lot of great work out there, guys. It's a really great company, and you got to support the small businesses out there. We have first off, we all know what day it is. We got to take a special moment of silence, if you will, and just give a special shout out to 23 years ago, 9/11 happened. So, we'll take a brief moment of silence to get into some sports. All right, guys, we had to just at least give some respect to that day. That's a very special day, obviously, in American history, so we wanted to make sure we do something for it. We have a really special show for you guys today. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We have we have sports news, obviously. We've got some stuff going on in the news. We got some recaps of some of the most exciting games of the weekends. We got some Lions, Rams, 49ers, Jets, the Colts and Texans. We got the special Thursday night preview coming up. Now we got Thursday night football kicking off on a regular basis again. No more Friday night, so don't get used to that one. No more having to worry about Peacock on a random Friday night. So that's got to be
football, though. College football, though.
College football, so we're in full swing here. But we have to go ahead and get this one out the way because it's been a big topic of the week. We're going to go and start this off. A little bit of controversy going on out in Miami with Tyreek Hill unfortunately getting arrested. And we had some the footage has been released. And you can see for yourself here, guys. BC, why don't you go ahead and walk us through what your thoughts were on this one, man? It's a controversial situation. What you got?
I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, obviously, like the day of, the big game, getting pulled over on the way going in. It was so interesting, like hearing about this live from, like some of my friends, like when we were pulling in to work the Bucs game, we were hearing about Tyreek Hill's getting pulled over by the police, getting investigated and everything like that. And it was, honestly, I didn't know what to make much of it at first, but just like, yo, man, it's just crazy to think like you're going in on your way to business for football, and then all of a sudden, boom, like you're getting pulled over by the police. Obviously, on Hill's side, like he was, he did say that the police didn't really do their job properly. There were some errors during that traffic stop. So, I mean, as you guys are seeing right now, you can't really have much of the audio at the moment. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. Like whenever you're a celebrity and stuff like that, you're dealing with law enforcement. It's a very touch and go kind of situation for sure.
G Mike, man, what's your thoughts, man? This is Miami. This is an area that you know very well. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Bro, I feel like both parties are at fault. So in the beginning, when Tyreek Hill basically had his window up, he had put it up again. It didn't show it on that video, but he had put it up again. And just in the cop's perspective, the first cop, not the second cop that came, the first cop's perspective, it's like he could be fearing for his life because you don't know what you see behind that window. And he's quote unquote said that he didn't know who it was. So maybe maybe the guy could have pulled out a gun and maybe you never really know. But speaking on the other cop that came in second in the view, man, like very aggressive for no reason. Tyreek Hill was already opening the door to get out. There's no reason for you to put your hands on it. He was already complying. And then you see it later in the video, in like maybe 20, 30 seconds, he goes to put him on the sidewalk, and Tyreek Hill doesn't want to sit down, and he comes out of nowhere, literally chokeholds him, like if he's in the UFC, to sit him down. And it's just like, at that point, and even before that, when he pulled him out of the car, it's just like, you're trying to assert your dominance and your power for what? You don't need to. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Yes, he was applying. Yes, he wasn't respecting what you were saying. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Just because you're an officer doesn't mean that you can grab someone when they're literally not doing anything. He's not even resisting arrest, and you're trying to chokehold him to get him down on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad situation. I hate to see it, and it's just the way it seems like we have all kinds of these episodes happening all the time. I do think both of them are wrong. Tyreek should have not have given as much of an attitude and just get it done with whatever you're doing. He was in the wrong. He was driving erratic. So as much as you want to come at the police for being a little bit aggressive, Tyreek was in the wrong. So it wasn't as if they just pulled him over for nothing. Secondly, the police definitely should not have got that aggressive with him either, regardless of what it was. Tyreek Hill brought up a good point. What if I wasn't a celebrity and was able to get out of this? What would have happened? Personally, Tyreek Hill's calling for the officer to get fired. I kind of feel like this should be more of a teaching moment for everybody in law enforcement and as a celebrity or just a human and being in general. I think it would be smarter and better served for everybody that if Tyreek Hill kind of sort of squash the whole thing and just work together with the police, maybe do a joint press conference and just admit the fact that, hey, we're both wrong. We both need to learn from this. And how about we move on and do something better? The police stand with the players. Tyreek Hill stands with law enforcement. Move on. And the story is already done with. I hate the fact that we even have to go over this kind of stuff, but it is unfortunately stuff that does happen every day. But it's part of everyday life, unfortunately. But I don't know. If you guys got anything else you want to touch on this one? I mean, I think we've all kind of said it how we think of it, and it's a shame that it had to happen.
There's not really much more to say, really. On my end.
Yeah, really. Just and like in life, man, just let cooler heads prevail in every situation, and then most problems will be solved. So,
yeah. No, I agree. It's definitely a crappy situation. We'd never want to see it happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But let's face it, it's probably going to. But hopefully they all learn from this, and Tyreek Hill moves on, and so do the police. Maybe they get something out of it. But so you guys
still played and still balled.
Yeah, he did.
yeah, and I mean in Tyreek Hill, definitely in Tyreek Hill fashion. Not trying to pick on him a little bit, but my knees hurt. My knees, get off my knees, and then he runs for an 80-yard touchdown, almost 26 miles an hour. I mean,
the celebration,
handcuff thing. Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes. Tyreek Hill has a little bit of a shady past, if you will, as well. So that's neither here nor there. I think we're ready to get back into the world of sports. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too, man. Let's come with the actual people came to come here for, man. And man, we had a hell of a Sunday night game, man. And we're definitely talking about those Rams and those Lions. Whew, what a game this one was, man. That game was awesome. And then unfortunately, the Rams did not come out without getting a bunch of injuries in there. If you were not able to watch this game, you might have been one of the only people in the world, because according to the NFL, they just released some numbers saying that an average of 21 million viewers was the highest they've ever had for a week one slate. They're saying also that at least 123 million people watched some sort of part of any game on Sunday this weekend. So if the NFL doesn't rule the world, I don't know what does, man. That's some crazy numbers, man. That's why they're able to do whatever they want to do.
McDonald's and Starbucks, baby. McDonald's and Starbucks.
Man, I mean,
people Amazon in there if you want to as well, man.
People think the World Cup wins it, but no, it's only for I was gonna say like a handful of months. But NFL, man, we dominate every single year, baby.
It's amazing.
The world of sports. I mean, soccer internationally is above everything, really.
Yeah, you could easily throw that one in there. Soccer is definitely is a lot more worldwide sport, but Here in America, we got football, man.
America.
Yeah. So anyway, man, if you didn't see it, the Lions were able to pick up the victory in overtime at 26-20, and a hell of a game in overtime. Jared Goff were 18 of 28, 217 yards and 1 touchdown. Stafford, who never looks like he's ever getting old, he went 34 of 49, 317 yards and 1 touchdown. The Rams, like I said before, they did not make it out of this without being hurt. Unfortunately, second-year star wideout receiver Puka Nacua is put on IR with a knee injury. It is a shame to see, and especially because he was one of a lot of people's top fantasy picks, at least probably second round, maybe the third at most, if you were lucky. BC, man, we got your Lions where this was your Lions that you picked to go to the Super Bowl. What's your thoughts on them, man? They came out on fire.
I mean, it was a rematch of last year's wild card round, so it was a good matchup for sure. You hate to obviously see Puka Nacua get injured like that, go on the IL, but you got to play the team that's in front of you. And Detroit executed on a lot of fronts. It was very close. I will say the run game definitely I think carried them in this one. Goff had an impressive showing too, but I think that the passing game, I think it left a little bit to be desired. But again, it's week 1. There's the rust coming in. There's still a lot of things that they're working out and everything. Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of had a bit of an off week. He only had about 3 catches for 13 yards. So, it was a bit of a struggle. But, shout out to Jameson Williams. Had himself a game right there. 5 reception, 120 yards. Got a tutty as well. So even if your main guy is struggling, you still got to be able to find ways as an offense to adapt and be able to do better. And that's what Detroit was able to do. So they did what they had to do to get the job done. Very efficient win for them. And they're going to move on next week. They're going to be at home taking on my Bucks. It's going to be, I think, a really good game depending on how the injury report comes out over this next week. But yeah, Detroit executed on all fronts, and they're looking good going into week 2.
Yeah, man, Detroit is steadily becoming one of the hardest places to play in the league, man. That place is going bananas in there, man. You can barely hear yourself think, let alone talk to your receivers. I don't know how the Rams were even able to get any kind of communication going because it was blaring loud in there, man. This is a wild game too because normally if you would have saw the score, if you would have said that Amon-Ra St. Brown, their dominant number 1 receiver, only had 13 yards. Old Lions, this is definitely a loss. This new Lions, they found another way, and they found the running game. The defense was playing well, man. Mike, what's your thoughts, man?
Dude, I mean, the running game has always been good for them since last season. They show that in the offseason they're going to work at it, and they're going to have 2 great running backs, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they're going to do the work, man, and they did. David Montgomery ran the ball 17 times, 91 yards, 1 TD. Gibbs ran the ball 11 times, 40 yards, but also caught 4 passes, 34 yards, and he had a rush TD. So that running game for sure for them is their go-to. It should be their go-to. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah, he did have a bad game, only caught 3 passes for 13 yards. But the reason being is because that secondary is actually pretty good. And they're like, yo, we're not going to let St. Brown score. If we're going to let anybody score, it's going to be someone else other than St. Brown. And that's what they did with Jameson Williams. 5 passes, 121 yards, 1 TD. I mean, last year he was supposed to be that wide receiver 2 that the Lions needed. He didn't because of the injury that he has sustained. But now he comes to this year. He's healthy. He's fast. He's lanky, yes, but you're not going to be able to catch up to him. That's why they do some rush passes with them.
Yeah, you can't hit what you can't see, man. It was lightning fast. He looked great. That's finally what the Lions drafted him for. The rumor was whenever he first got there, obviously he was injured when he first came in the league. They kind of got him on a steal for that reason. But they were saying that he just wasn't catching on the playbook enough. He needed to grow up a little bit. So give him a little bit of time, and he's definitely shown that he can be that dominant number 2. And honestly, I love this run game that they have, though, too. That Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, whenever they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he was the second running back off the board at that time. They took him, I want to say, maybe 11, somewhere in there. Anyways, I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was a very high pick. And a lot of people were like, what are you doing? You guys just got David Montgomery. What are you going with this? But I think they use him in the slot. They use him as a receiver. They're using him all over the place, and it still gives David Montgomery time to do his thing. He also in overtime caught a couple passes himself. So they got 2 dynamic running backs that complement each other extremely well. They got the lightning fast Gibbs, and they got David Montgomery, who I would never call him a power back, but he out of the 2 is the power back, which is a great combo to have, man.
Yep. Well, and that's the way the league is. It's evolved a lot more now. It's been focused a lot more on not just the days of having a single running back, the bell cow back, are pretty much done. Now it's a running back by committee, pretty much, like guys that you want to fulfill different roles. You got really two different schools of philosophy. You either have the complementary power back and speed back, or some form of a receiving back and one of those other two as well. Or, sometimes you go like what the Bucs did and have two guys that kind of play similar roles where you got Bucky Irving and Rashad White, who both kind of have that scat back / receiving back role. They can just kind of sub in and out pretty quick. So, it's a good scheme for Detroit to do, and it makes them more versatile as an offense. They're not having to rely on Jared Goff in the passing game as much. They can also, they have another ace in the hole, another weapon that they can use if the passing game's struggling to get off, which looked like it was a little bit today, again, in spite of, Jameson Williams going off. Everyone else was held to under 50 yards respectfully.
Another thing I wanted to mention was the I don't like the fact that they are changing up the OT rules for playoffs in the regular season. You got to have it one way or the other. Do it for the regular season, the preseason, postseason, Super Bowl, whatever the case may be. Have it the same exact way, because the Lions got the ball in OT. They went down, they scored. That's it. The game was over. Wow. The Rams started off the game super slow. Then they started picking it up. It's week 1. That's going to happen. And Matthew Stafford started going off, 317 yards, 1 TD. Yeah, he had an interception, but he had 34 completions on 49 attempts. That's like probably over 60% of completion rate. And it's like, if you're not giving him a chance in overtime when they literally did all that work to tie up the game to get into overtime, now you're just taking it away from them. I don't think it's fair.
Personally, I like the college. I like the college overtime rule. I think that the NFL should adapt that one. I think that's the most exciting. I think it gives both teams the opportunity to get the ball. And let's face it, the NFL loves to have scoring, so that, the NFL would be able to scheme whatever they wanted to. College is a little bit different, obviously. NFL is just a better quality product. So I think that they would be able to make it very interesting if they were able to do the same thing. And then like they do in college, once you get to a certain point, you have to go for 2. I think that's what the NFL should adapt, because this happens too often. If you win the coin toss, you get that touchdown, it's over with. I don't like it at all. But man, it wasn't all about the Lions in this one, even though that the Rams did lose. How about Cooper Kupp, man? I feel like that guy every year, because he generally gets hurt, he has a little bit of injury history, but that kid is one of the best damn receivers in football, man. He's just silky smooth. He's not always the fastest. It's his route running ability. It's the chemistry he has with Matthew Stafford, the way McVay schemes him open. And 14 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. The guy's damn near unguardable for the most part, man. What do you guys think of Cooper Kupp?
Dude, he had 20 targets when Puka Nacua went down. 20 targets to finish the game. He caught 14 of those targets, only dropped 6. I mean, it's going to happen. 110 yards, 1 TD, man. A lot of people say, he's old. He's not going to be the same and this and that. Bro, that guy has the best route running skills in the NFL. Like top 5. Has to be top 5. And it's like, if you create that much separation, you're going to be open, bro. And especially when you're playing slot, you're going down the middle against these linebackers that can't cover like a corner or a safety. Dude, he's going to get open.
Yep. And route, you hit it really well, Steve, earlier, talking about the route running. It is such an underrated skill, and one that doesn't really get talked about as much. Well, it's getting talked about more now than it used to, but for the longest time, most of the time people just focused on either speed, size, catching ability, and that was pretty much a leaping ability, and that was it. But really being able to run crisp routes, being able to make sure that you're able to get in and out of your spots, getting able to your landmarks at certain points on the throw, timing it just right. It plays so much into the quarterback's timing, plays so much into his rhythm. So if you can effectively and smoothly run a route as a wide receiver, it just makes your quarterback's day that much easier. And again, that's in spite of any physical deficiencies that Cooper Kupp might have. He's still one of the best, if not the best route runner in the league.
Yeah, I absolutely love what he has going on there. And you can't deny the absolute chemistry that he has with Matthew Stafford. They're just on the same damn page. That was part of whenever the trade happened with the Lions for him going over there. That was like when the first person he contacted, him, McVay, and Cooper Kupp just hung out, got to know each other, got to understand each other's quirks, and you can clearly see it was out there. Man, I don't know about you guys, but real quick, do you think Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Right. I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer, but it's kind of wild too. Everybody kind of wishes, including myself, that he was able to get more done in Detroit when he was there with him and Megatron. They just put up great numbers. It was awesome to see. We all just wish they could have gotten it done there. But I liked him out in LA as well. We're on the same page, right? You guys think first ballot?
I wouldn't say first ballot. I'd give him
Interesting.
No, well, because first ballot, you have to be one of those guys that change. You have to be like a Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, those kinds of guys. I wouldn't give somebody like for example, let me just figure out one, like Reggie Wayne. He's a Hall of Famer. First ballot, no. And I would kind of put Matthew Stafford kind of in that same situation, like guys that are elite players for sure, but they're not the cream of the crop, the greatest of the great.
Well, ironically, Terrell Owens actually was the second. It wasn't our first rounder either.
I
that was the big controversy because he was not necessarily well liked by all the voters. So technically, he wasn't either. But I know what you mean though. What about you, T, Mike? Is he first rounder or what? First ballot? Excuse me.
Dude, the first ballot, third ballot, second ballot, that's all politics, man. So I don't really get into that, honestly. But just before I go, my boy Chris here on IG saying the best route runners, top 3, no order: Justin Jefferson, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp. Great class.
Interesting.
Good list. I'd say Chris Godwin's got to be up there too. I would say so.
No Devontae Adams?
You would say Chris Godwin.
I would, man. That dude's got he's so reliable.
That's like me saying CeeDee Lamb.
Hey,
I mean that's not too far.
No, he's great. I just wasn't gonna say it.
Speaking of comments as well, real quick, George, we had a Crypto Wolf out there letting people represent the degenerates out there for you, G Mike. So
yes, sir.
Jump on board. We got proof.
Chat, we making money, baby. We making money in the chat. But just speaking of Matthew Stafford, man, I feel like it's just the situation that he was put in, man, because you mentioned Peyton Manning, you mentioned Tom Brady, you mentioned Terrell Owens, you mentioned Reggie Wayne. All these guys had supporters around them. Matthew Stafford had Megatron and the fans of Detroit buying hot dogs and sodas, and that's it. He didn't have no one else on that team, defense and offense, no one else. So it's like it was hard for him to really do anything. It was hard for him to win. It was hard for him to actually make plays if he's not throwing the ball to Megatron. Obviously, if he throws it to Megatron, he's going to make plays. But if he's not throwing it to him, who else was he throwing it to? It's like, I don't know. Then you see what happens. He gets traded, and he goes to a team that is star-studded, and he wins the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, like, I love what Dan Campbell's comments was as well about Matthew Stafford, too. He's like, I don't even want to hit the guy. It seems like whenever you hit him, he plays better. So, I mean, that's the ultimate compliment from a coach.
He's a dog. He's a dog. He's a Georgia Bulldog.
Man. He throws such a nice pass, too, man. Shout out to Matthew Stafford, man. I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan. Even though he did go to Georgia, I won't hold that against him. Anyways, man. So, yeah, we had another amazing game. The defending champion, defending NFC champion, San Francisco 49ers took on the New York Jets in a much-anticipated return of Aaron Rodgers to the field. And I know they were all a little bit nervous. Another Monday night game for Aaron Rodgers. Notice he did not come out waving the flag. Man, this was an interesting game out here, man. This, unfortunately for Rodgers, it did not go very well for the Jets. The Niners took this one in a dominant fashion, winning 32-19. Rodgers went for 13 of 21, 167, a touchdown, and 1 interception. A hell of a play on that interception, though, by the way, as well. Wasn't really that bad of a pass on Rodgers' behalf. Brock Purdy goes from 19 of 29, 231 yards, no touchdowns, and zero NTs. So we had an interesting thing happen out there. A lot of fantasy managers was kind of pissed off at what happened in this game. If you guys didn't have Christian McCaffrey or you had him in your lineup, he did about an hour before the game started. Christian McCaffrey, they announced that he is not going to play, and in steps the undrafted running back out of Georgia Tech, Jordan Mason, and he absolutely electrifies the stadium. 28 carries, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 5.3 yards per carry, 1 reception for 5 yards. My goodness, what a story it was for this guy. The guy looked like the next Adrian Peterson. There were people who were saying CMC who out there, man. Obviously, they want CMC back. But no, he looked great, man. BC, man, what was your thoughts on this one? What a story. What a game, man.
It's one of those things. A lot of people now, the CMC haters, the system running back stands, they're going to be coming out in full force after this one. But honestly, again, this is what I was alluding to earlier with a lot of offenses going now towards a 2-back system. And yeah, Christian McCaffrey has proven that he can carry an offense. Obviously, we saw that from his days in Carolina. I know the team around him wasn't very good, but he was still able to hold that team together just by himself. And then also, too, when the impact that he made in San Francisco was great. But we've seen a lot of great running backs that were one-man shows over the years. By the time they hit that 30 age, they start teetering off, they start going down. And that's just because the wear and tear you have, all those carries, all those hits that you take, it accumulates over time more so than just about any other position. So it's important that as your running backs get older, or if you have a superstar running back that's closing in on 30, that even somebody that's maybe not necessarily that even old, but you want to make sure that they stay fresh for a longer time. It's great to have that complimentary back that can spell him, give him some breaks, and just allow him to either execute the same essential tasks, just maybe at a lesser extent, or somebody that brings a whole new skill set that can bring something different to the equation. And that's what, that's what Jordan Mason does for the Niners. And I think that that's a really good thing moving forward for Christian McCaffrey too. For fantasy owners, it's the worst thing imaginable. But
you know what's even worse? You know what's even worse is when you're smart enough to pick up Christian McCaffrey's running backup and have him on your bench.
Yeah, but
ergo this guy.
Or they start him against you and you lose your week 1 because of it.
But hey,
or if you have the other top tight end, Isaiah Likely and Jordan Mason on your bench, that's a great week 1 for you, huh?
I mean, hey, the Niners ain't in business to win fantasy points. They're in it to win Super Bowls. So it's like, you got to do what you got to do to win. If that means pissing off a few fantasy owners at home, I think John Lynch and the rest of the staff, they'll be okay with that.
I think your microphone was cutting out. They don't care about fantasy. That I'm pretty sure that was. I'm not sure if everybody heard that right or not. I thought
there's so much money in fantasy now that they for sure. You
gotta say it louder for the people in the back. They don't care about your fantasy leagues. They care about
the league does. We're not them.
G-Mike, man, what does the Jets need to do to get this thing going? Because I know Rodgers hasn't played in a long time, so it's week 1. I'm definitely going to give him a pass. I know I've been a little bit critical of Aaron Rodgers. Week 1, he did look great on that one drive that they did score the touchdown on. He had a beautiful pass. Worked out, but the Jets just, I don't know. Breece Hall looks good. Garrett Wilson looks like he's capable. What's your thoughts, man? Can they figure this out, or is this just week 1 and then San Francisco's that good?
San Francisco is that good, and I do think that the Jets figure it out 100%. I just want to point out really quick that I love the fact that San Francisco didn't go away from their strategy, because you would think CMC is out. Okay, you know what? Let's try to get Brock Purdy to throw more passes. Brock Purdy only threw 29 attempts on 19 completions. He missed 10 of those. And Jordan Mason ran 28 times.
Yeah.
28 times. That means they didn't go away from what they wanted to do. And wholeheartedly, I wouldn't either, because that secondary for the New York Jets is crazy. From both safeties to both corners, and even corner number 3. They are crazy out there. And like you saw with Deebo, he didn't even do that much. He caught 5 passes, 54 yards. Brandon Ayuk, only 2 catches, 28 yards. And he dropped the TD. By the way, if you're talking all that smack in the offseason, you drop a TD like that, boy,
he looked rusty.
You need to reevaluate.
Ayuk looked rusty.
He did look rusty. That's what happens when you're not in training camp. But other than that, he's going to pick it up. I'm not worried about that at all. George Kittle, 4 catches, 40 yards. But the number one thing here, because the Jets and the Niners, they both played great defense. Great defense. But the number one thing here was
Jets not so much this game.
Yeah, they did. They hold them. The Niners only scored 1 touchdown. And it was because of the run. It wasn't even the passing. But the kicker, Jake Moody, he hit 6 field goals for 18 points. So it's like, dude, you stop them at the red zone, but they're still trotting down the whole field. So, there's more to work on. The red zone defense is good. That's very important, because there are a lot of teams that can't play red zone defense, and they get cooked out there, and that's why they lose games. But other than that, bro, both teams, they played great, man. And honestly, just to answer your question, no, I do think that the Jets are going to pick it up. They're actually going to do good. Aaron Rodgers, first game out there since he tore his Achilles literally a year ago. So it's like, you got to give him a little more time. Breece Hall, he looked good. Garrett Wilson, he looked good. Alan Lazard looked good. He had 2 tutties, 1 from Tyrod Taylor, 1 from Aaron Rodgers. So I think there's a lot of hope for the Jets. And obviously the Niners, they're looking like another Super Bowl contending team again.
Looks like the Crypto Wolf had a Monday night special, man. That was his kicker out there, man. A bunch of people, man. That was the savior of Monday night for a lot of damn people out there, man. That was pretty wild. Speaking of going on,
Moody got me moody, man. Moody got me moody.
With the Niners, man, I just love the way their roster is constructed out here, man. They like you said too, they didn't have to digress from what they like to do. They run the ball. They have a great offense, and on top of it too, Debo might not have caught a bunch of passes, but he was their backup running back. He, I believe, had 5 carries. He had a touchdown himself and on the ground. So if you're able to take one of your top wide receivers and make him your backup running back as well, and it doesn't change anything, that is just a smart player there, and that's a great way to have your roster. It's going to be interesting to see next year what they end up doing. Rumor is that Debo is on his way out. His contract, I think, is up next year. So that's going to be interesting if they go through the same thing with Debo as they did with Brandon Ayuk. But kind of funny about Ayuk, though, as well. I don't know if you heard on the afterwards. He was like, I was scared to go watch film on Monday. Or excuse me, on Tuesday, because he knew he looked rusty. He knew that everybody was going to give him a hard time. He admitted that he ended up making it harder for the team and missed a lot of time. And it looked like it. He did not look that sharp out there. Week 1 for everybody, so we'll give passes where passes are due. It's everybody's still learning, and like you said, George, a couple weeks ago, that the preseason doesn't really count, and this is kind of this is their preseason, if you will. So next couple of games, you got to give these guys a little bit of a break. But he did look rusty to me. I don't know.
For sure. And
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I just wanted to agree with that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to comment too on the Niners offense as well. The system that they built, it's so versatile. You can attack it from so many different angles with so many different players. Yeah, of course, you've got your guys like Brandon Ayuk, and you've got your George Kittles that are obviously going to stick to their positions, but they have that versatility with Debo, McCaffrey, Mason, like all these different guys can come in and do a few different roles. And also to the fact that they're relying on a quarterback that was drafted at the exact end of the draft. That's just amazing to me that they're able to get this level of success. And it's something that, obviously the NFL is a league where they're going to continue to, copy, that's what it is. It's a copycat league. Everybody sees a system working here. They're going to try to do it elsewhere. So are we going to start seeing teams now focus less on, maybe not necessarily paying these quarterbacks exorbitant amounts of money like they used to, maybe focusing a lot more on building the team around, and then maybe bringing in a rookie quarterback that can kind of game manage, that can kind of just get the ball where he needs to get it and let the skill players take over. Is that something that can lead to long-term success? I'm not sure. We got to see it play out a little bit longer. But if they are able to win a Super Bowl with this, don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot of these teams and a lot of these quarterbacks now, like they're getting kind of phased out. These huge contracts are getting, they'll still get a decent amount, but how many teams are we going to see now going towards more skill-oriented offenses where we can just plug in a rookie QB and just let them ball out with the guys?
That's tough, man. That's tough right there, bro. I don't know. I feel like the leader of your team and the person you want to depend on the most has to be the quarterback. If you're bringing in a rookie QB, yeah, Brock Purdy is a good example of that for sure. But how many rookie QBs can you say that will go out there and lead a whole offense and be the leader and run the locker room and get you wins and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. That's tough, man.
Yeah, well, shout out to our boy Kelvin out there saying the Niners system is the real MVP off of YouTube and Week 1 victory. And he's a doctor, gentlemen, so he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Oh man,
yeah, it is really interesting to see how they're able to do what they do, and just putting it out there, And it can't go without saying, like you were saying, BC, that he is the last pick of the draft, so that means his money is last pick of the draft money, and that contract is coming up next year, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle that one, because they're going to have, unfortunately, Debo having to figure out his contract at the same exact time too. Out of the two of them, I'm assuming that they would choose probably Brock Purdy over Debo. I'm not 100% sure, but that's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if Brock Purdy's going to be demanding the highest paid money because the market always resets itself, or I don't know how they're going to do that one, because I guess the bigger question is, does he deserve to be the highest paid quarterback? I don't really think so, but that's TBD. I mean, if he goes back-to-back Super Bowls, that adds a lot.
Yeah, but then, you got to be able to win at least one of those to be able to command that kind of money. If you go back and you're playing the same team back-to-back, the same guy back-to-back, you ain't making Patrick Mahomes level money then. So, and that's a bargaining chip that San Francisco could use in negotiation talks, where they're like, hey, we like you, we believe in you as a guy, but, we don't necessarily, we're not going to pay you Mahomes money. So will that piss him off? Maybe, but it's something that you have as a team and organization that you can use to negotiate a little bit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So we're going to head out to the Midwest and talk about a wild game we had out there. We're going to head out to the AFC South and the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. And, man, there were some big plays in this game. The Houston Texans came away with the victory in this one at a score of 29-27. CJ Stroud was looking great out there, man, just picking up right where he left off. 24 of 32, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Anthony Richardson, on the other hand, had himself a little bit different of the game. Anthony Richardson threw for a whopping 9 completions off of 12 passes, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 6 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. But having said that, true fact, he is literally number 2 in QBR in the league right now because he only attempted 12 passes and only missed a couple of them. So, yeah, man, it's hey, Brian McCarthy, man, thanks for checking out here, man, for sure. Tell it to Dak whenever about the highest paid, man. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
60 mil a year, and y'all hating. Y'all hating.
Yeah, I know. I guess you can even go ahead and even we're talking about the Colts, but you can still have that debate. You're gonna have who would you rather have, the Brock Purdy or Dak? Because the money's gonna tell you to Brock Purdy more money.
Dude, I just want to see Brock Purdy go to another team that doesn't have Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. The list goes on and on. Put him on another team that doesn't have players like that, and let's see what he does. That's what I want to see because I really feel that you put anybody there, they're still gonna shine. No matter what.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a good possibility. I mean, hell, Nick Mullins even looked good in that offense, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I look good in that offense and in that red and gold, baby.
Right. Yeah, well, this the Colts and Texans game was definitely a pretty wild game. Obviously, I'm the homer. That's my Indianapolis Colts. So, BC, why don't you go ahead and start us off, man? What's your thoughts out there, man? There's a lot to unpack in this one.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a decent game, but man, you guys shocked me there, keeping it as close as it was. And Anthony Richardson, the definition of boom or bust, as far as today, it was either a completed pass or it was incompletion. But also too, just what astounds me is looking at Alec Pierce and Ashton. Let me see if I got that name right. Ashton Dulin. Yeah. Just the average per reception is astounding. 41 yards for Pierce and then 54 for Doolin. Like, my gosh.
Yeah.
Richardson is just airing it out. I mean, obviously, it's the splash plays, and we all love to see it. Is it going to be something that you can do long term? No, you got to learn how to, pick your spots here and there. But he did what he had to do. He did his best as he could to try to keep it close. And Houston's defense is improved. It's a tough defense. The offense, obviously, for Houston, firing on all cylinders. Everybody looked, I thought, really good. Joe Mixon had a fantastic game, over 150 yards,
30 rushes.
Yeah, man. That again. You gotta. I'm interested to see how he does over the course of the season. If 30 carries a game is going to be something that's sustainable, I don't think so. Hopefully, they can find a way to kind of balance that out a little bit. Maybe get Dameon Pierce a little bit more involved with the offense. They did draft him, I want to say, a year or two ago.
Man,
so
they pretty much just forgot about Dameon Pierce. He was hot for 3 weeks or something, and then they just kicked him to the curb for Devin Singletary, and then Devin Singletary left too, and they got Joe Mixon. That running game looked great.
You're spending those high on draft picks for a running back. You gotta find some way to get them integrated in the offense. But again, everybody had a really good game. I thought Stephon Diggs got 2 tutties. Nick Collins got over 100 yards. So that was a really good game by Houston, and it's going to be good seeing them going into week 2.
Yeah, Nico Collins was just on fire, man. On fire on there, man. Kind of crazy though as well. Do you realize I had to look this up myself on here that my boy Anthony Richardson has only attempted 103 passes as an entire NFL regular season career so far. 103 passes. That's it, man. The guy's barely played a whole quarter or something, if you will. It's insane. G-Mike, what's your thoughts on here, man? They had some splash plays. They had some highlight plays. CJ Stroud looked good. There was a lot to take in here, man. What's your thoughts?
Yo, that one throw that Anthony Richardson had that he slipped and he got back up and he just launched that into the end zone. Yo, I saw that live and I was just like, wow, bro, what a freaking throw, bro. It was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful.
2 of them to Pierce. There was just another one that was just an absolute double cover. The second one was a little bit more riskier for sure, but the first one was absolutely beautiful, though.
I just love the fact that he almost slipped, almost got sacked, and still launched it 80 yards. That was crazy, man. But overall, on both sides, man, great plays on both sides, defense and offenses for Houston and in Indianapolis. And it honestly came down to the fact that the Colts had to punt the ball 2 more times than the Texans. Because if they didn't and they would have gone for field goals, I think the Colts would have won that game. I mean, statistically speaking. So it was just it was a good game overall on both sides. And You know, we knew what Houston was going to do with that offense and that defense stepping up. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people were surprised on how the Colts played. Really, I mean, that defense for sure is top 15. The offense was the biggest question mark on what we were going to see, and Anthony Richardson is just putting on a show. One rush TD, one throw-in TD. Dude, he only had 9 completions for 19 attempts, but he ran the ball 6 times for 56 yards. So, you know, if you're a mobile quarterback, you know, you have more playmaking ability, 100%. And CJ Stroud, he had himself a game as well. No interception. He had 2 TDs. Both of them is Stephon Diggs, his new running mate. So it's dope to see. You know, first game of the season. It's a divisional opponent. So we're going to see this matchup again later in the season. And maybe even in the playoffs, man. If the Colts get in there as a wild card team, they probably could play.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. Obviously, it's my team, so I'm not jumping off them yet. But they definitely impressed me a lot more than just being a fan of the team. I think they legitimately look like a top tier team so far because they went toe to toe with what some people think is a possible Super Bowl contender in the Houston Texans. With Anthony Richardson, I think it's just going to take some time. You know, it's week 1 rust for everybody, but it's literally week 1 rust for him because he just came back from surgery. The guy has only thrown, like I said, 103 passes entirely in the entire time in the league. He barely played in college and he barely played in high school. So the guy just needs to flat out play some football. I would love to see him not take as many shots with his shoulders, considering that's whatever he injured already. But as Coach Steichen said, you're not going to stop Steph Curry from shooing if he's on fire, you know. So exactly. you can't take these guys. You can't take away what these guys are naturally meant to do. So I would prefer it if he was able to protect himself a little bit more. But he's such a big guy, so he should be able to take some of the beatings. But I would love to see him go down a little bit more. You know, the same thing it's kind of like him and Jalen Hurts. They're the same body structure, body type. You know, you would hate just to see those guys get out. But Anthony Richardson was impressive. I want to see a lot more from Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor wasn't. I think it had just been game script. They needed to kind of go neck and neck. Then maybe if they ran the ball a little bit more, just to sign runs when they did have
16 carries though.
Yeah, I mean, no, but Jonathan Taylor. I mean, just 2 years ago, before the ankle injury, was the number 1 rusher in the league.
Yeah, but they're going up against a defense that is pretty damn good. I mean, they're not bad.
Houston's defense is much improved. Absolutely. That was their biggest downfall last year was their defense, and it looked 1,000 times better than it did last year. And the Colts got after CJ Stroud quite a bit as well. So I would have to go away with, I don't know if it was just a week 1 thing for the Texans. Maybe they were a little bit off as well. But the Colts look like they can stand toe-to-toe and go with some of the top teams. They lost by 2 points. I would digress if I didn't talk about what annoyed the hell out of me at the end of the game. I had to look it up, and I guess I was completely wrong. But that last second catch with Nico Collins with 1 knee down, 1 leg down, and it counts as 2. I never heard of that one before, but I guess that's the rule. I think that's kind of a stupid rule, and not just because it happened against my team, but I just think that's a stupid rule. I thought that was the whole point of the whole 2 foot down, 2 drag swag. Why does it matter
if you have 1 knee down? That makes your whole body composition of you trying to keep your balance unstable. You could really get injured like that. So if you try to put 2 knees down, it's going to be hard for you to do that. You probably injure yourself.
I don't know. I don't like it.
You don't like it because it happened against your team.
It happened against my team, so I'm a little bit more bitter than I probably should be. But I honestly just thought it's a really odd rule. And especially the way it came. He definitely had control of the ball, but I don't know. It was a bang bang.
You see it on kickoff returns. If a dude takes a knee, that's it. The play is done. It's the same thing with the knees and the elbow. Once there's 1 elbow that hits the ground, that's it. The play's done. That's why you see some running backs when they dive into the end zone, 1 elbow hits the ground while the other hand is trying to pass the pylon, and they call it down because the elbow already touched.
Yeah, well, that sucks. I don't like it. Damn it.
Before we move on, my guy Jay, shout out my guy Jay on IG, but he's asking us, Chase for Waddle and Stevenson from the Patriots. Is that a good trade? Negative. That's a trade rape. No, do not do that trade. Do not do that. Tua likes Jalen Waddle. He's going to get him passes. He's going to get him touchdowns. Stevenson is the forefront of that offense right now. He's going to get rushing touchdowns each and every game from now on. Chase is Chase. But the way that Joe Burrow's looking out there, he's looking like his wrist still hurts. The offensive line is not covering for him, man. I don't know, man. Whoever's getting Chase is getting trade rate, 100%.
one more time, what was the trade details? I couldn't hear the start.
It was Jamar Chase for Jalen Waddle and Rashad Stevenson from the Patriots.
Ooh, I don't know.
If you're giving up Chase, yes, it's a good trade for you. But you are trade raping, my man. You are trade raping this guy. Just so you know.
I could go with that one. I would. Yeah, I think that's a decent one. Man, I'm just so happy fantasy's back, man. It's so much fun to have just to throw the hypotheticals around, man. That is just a blast to do, man. Yeah, so we have another.
He says shh. He says shh.
Yeah, thank you. Well, was that in your league?
No, I'm saying in the comments he's telling me to shush because I'm saying that he's trade raping.
Oh yeah, exactly, man. All right, well, we have another new game right here. That's about the recap of the week one. We're also going to go over our picks from over the weekend on Saturday, so stay tuned for that one. So we can all find out who out of the three of us had the most rights. But we do have a game tomorrow, and it is a fun one, an AFC East battle. We got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills, and man, both teams came out with a win on Sunday, and both teams had their ups and downs for sure. So the Bills came out and beat Arizona. They were down, and Josh Allen, my MVP pick, came out and did Josh Allen things, kind of like I kind of expected him to do. Put the team on his back and really took it over. The Bills looked a lot better than I expected. They were shaky at first. When they were down, they did not look good, and it was kind of looked like doomsday for them. But they came back, and I think they looked pretty good towards the end of the game. It took a little bit of time to get out there. BC, man, what's your thoughts on this matchup we got here? It's a fun one, man. I can't believe this one's early like this. It's like week 2, AFC East battle like this.
Love it.
Battle of heavyweights right here. What more could you want to say? High-powered offense. There are 2 high-powered offenses. You got 2 really good quarterbacks going at it. So it's going to be a great one to see for sure. And I'm excited to see how Tyreek Hill follows up his performance from week 1.
Mm-hmm.
G-Mike, man. I mean, this potentially for a lot of people's picks are the top 2 teams in this division. You have maybe the Jets in there, maybe, but after week 1, I don't know. It's kind of looking like it might be between these 2 guys. What's your thoughts on this game?
Oh man, it's gonna be a great game. Thursday night football, tomorrow night. I know a lot of guys that are going to that game. Mad hype for the game. It's always good against Buffalo and Miami. That
big time
camaraderie there. Yeah, so there's always some pressure going on at the game. Just taking the game standpoint though, Raheem Mostert, he's already ruled out. Devon Achane, he might be ruled out, but they're taking it day to day right now, even though he did practice today. Well, he was on the field, but I don't think he practiced. So Jeff Wilson might take more of the load tomorrow. Even then, he's an RB3. I think he still can be considered a RB1 on certain teams that needed a running back. So I think he's going to do work. When it comes to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're going to do what they do. That secondary for the Buffalo Bills is not the same secondary that they had last year. They depleted. So I want to see how that matchup goes. Josh Allen, for sure. He's going to do Josh Allen things. He's going to show why he can be an MVP candidate 100%. I feel like he's going to get another rushing touchdown against the Dolphins because that's what they really need when they go up in the red zone, even though they should be giving him a dog, James Cook, for my fantasy, man. But just for the purposes of trying to win the game for the Bills, I see why they go with Josh Allen. Guy's a dog. Guys make plays. He's going to get in there and he's going to score. But overall, I think the Dolphins are going to take it. I think they're going to play a good game. They're at home as well. That defense has revamped. Their secondary looking crispy clean. Their run defense looked very nice. And the offense, I would just say, Tua, stop overthrowing these guys, man. You threw 3 overthrown passes last game that 2 of them would have been touchdowns and one of them would have been a big play for at least 40, 50 yards, man. So, Tua, you got to get on your stuff, man. You got to get on your stuff.
Yeah, kind of uncharacteristic for Tua, the performance that he kind of had, and kind of ironic about both these 2 teams is that they had to gut it out to win. Neither one of them had dominant wins, and both, ironically as well, the Bills were expected to possibly destroy Arizona. Arizona looks a lot more improved than they did last year for sure. In our picks last week, that was my that was my pick for a surprise upset. If it did happen, was going to be Arizona over Buffalo. But Arizona just kind of fell short, and Josh Allen was just flat out, amazing out there. So he was really great. It took the Dolphins a last second fumble from Travis Etienne, get that big play to Tyreek, it just never really looked back from that point, So kind of wild how both these teams ended up winning the game. Really, BC, what's your thoughts, man? Were you impressed with either one of these guys?
I mean, I was impressed ultimately with the way that Buffalo was able to kind of hold it out in the end. And again, we talked a lot about how we've been talking this whole show about how there's been rust week one. And honestly, it was just rust for Buffalo, and Josh Allen did what he had to do to be able to bring the team to victory. So, you gotta just kind of go in there with that understanding. And again, to be able to, pull it out, even though, again, you're supposed to beat a team like Arizona by a bigger margin than you were expecting, you got to still play the game. Even if it's close, you got to be able to win those games. And you'd rather pull out a close win against a team that wasn't expected to win a lot than be upset. You'd rather be on the other side.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. That's definitely without a doubt. Yes, with actually, and ironically, in that first Buffalo game too, that was the first running back run for a new touchdown, that new kickoff roll. So that was kind of exciting. That's a bar bet for you right there. DJ Dallas is the first one to get the ticket to the house out there, man. So BC, we already heard from G Mike that he picked the Miami Dolphins to get this one. I obviously already picked the Dolphins as my Super Bowl contender from the AFC. But having said that, I think that the Dolphins are going to go lose this one to Buffalo. I think Buffalo is going to come in and surprise them a little bit. I think that running game is going to hurt them a little bit. They got a little bit banged up. I think this is Buffalo's chance to get one ahead on Miami. I still have Miami winning the division, but I think Buffalo is going to take this one on Thursday night. What about you, BC?
No, I'm going to give this one to Miami. I think that of the two teams, they got the most momentum moving forward. And I think that Buffalo still has a little bit more they have to work on as opposed to Miami. So I think in a battle of rust, quote unquote, I think Miami is going to win this one out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is going to be probably one of the better of the Thursday night games. It's about damn time. Seems like Thursday night always gets stuck with these bad games, and
right.
No one wants to watch them anyways. But this one I actually think will be one of the highest rated of the season, just because both teams are extremely competitive, and if Buffalo plays their cards right, they really could be playoff bound. A lot of people had them out of it just because of everything that happened in the offseason, losing the receivers. The defense not being as what it used to be. But I think Buffalo has a really good chance, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Buffalo to win this one. We'll go ahead and go back over our picks from last week so we can, before we make our second ones on Saturday's show, so be on the lookout for that one. And, so that's going to be a fun game out there, man. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our down bad debate.
Down bad.
I finally got it right, I think, man. All right, this one's going to be a fun one, man. We found this one from House of Hoops again. These guys give out great content. We get to be able to check it out. So here you go right here. If you're not watching on YouTube, this is what we got up here. It's pick 2 stars to start a franchise with. Rookie Michael Jordan, rookie Wemby, rookie LeBron, or rookie Kobe. Man,
it's easy.
It's easy. All right, that's good. Yep. So if you're ready to go, G Mike, go ahead. I'll think about it a little bit more, but G Mike, go ahead and start us off, man.
Bro, I'm taking Wemby and LeBron 100% all day, every day. Wemby, bro, the monster on both sides of the ball. He could shoot, he could pass, he could play make. On the defensive side, he can block with the best of them. I think he broke the rookie franchise record. And, bro, he just makes plays on defense. You try to go up in the paint, he's going to scare you, or if not, he's going to block it. One or the other. LeBron, great on offense and defense as well when he was younger coming into the league. Passing the ball, scoring at will, getting his teammates involved, running up and down the court super fast, running a 4 flat, jumping out of the gym, dunking on people, man. It was just, bro, to me, it's no-brainer. Wemby and LeBron for sure.
All right, BC, he came with some fire there, man. What you got?
Man, I'm going to disagree a little bit. I'm going to go with rookie MJ and rookie Wemby. I like the big guard combo right there to start to build a franchise with. I think a big key to any sustainable franchise is having a big and either forward or guard combo. And I like having MJ in that one. You give me some scoring, you can slash. You can have Wemby spot up on offense from outside, or you can kind of drive it in, post up a little bit too. And out of all the players out there, the 2 best defenders are going to be on that team with MJ and Wemby. You got the best post defender of that group. You've got the best perimeter defender of that group. Like young MJ was putting the clamps on anybody out on the perimeter. And then you got rookie Wemby as well, just cleaning up down low, swatting shots. If you get by MJ, it's no competition for me, man.
Yeah, MJ clamping up the insurance agents for sure.
Yeah, well, what's kind of wild too is that all of us are going to have Wemby involved with this, and I think this Wemby,
For sure.
yeah, I think
For
no
sure.
matter what the generation was, I think that Wemby is just that damn good. He's so young and it just is improving. I honestly was kind of worried about his size was going to be a factor when he came in the league. I thought he was going to get bullied a little bit more, but he proved me wrong big time, man. The kid is just flat out good. So I'm going to take rookie Wemby. And man, I would love to. I got to take MJ, man. You know me, I'm still stuck in the 90s. No matter what happens, I'm an MJ fan all the time, no matter what. I'd have to take rookie MJ, rookie Wemby. Although rookie LeBron would have been fun, I would have liked that combo. And then rookie Kobe, I feel like it took him a little bit more time to really become the Kobe.
To get involved in the NBA, I think he was.
I feel like that was kind of one of the tricks. That was kind of one of the tricks in this little meme thing here. Was that everybody thinks of Kobe, mid Kobe, later on Kobe, not rookie Kobe. Rookie Kobe was still damn good, highlight plays, but wasn't what Kobe was till later on.
Compared to these three, he wasn't
exactly
great
compared
to these three.
Exactly, still an amazing player, but these three. Just came flat out. So
rookie MJ and LeBron would have been a fun combo too. You got really two
I know
players. That would have been a good one as well. You got
my boy on IG said a good one too. He said Ricky Jeremy Lin.
What's that?
Jeremy Lin. He said Ricky Jeremy Lin. He said Ricky Jeremy Lin would have been nice.
That'd been fun. That'd have been fun, man. You could do this with a lot of different combos. Just for fun, we got a couple of minutes left here to kill. What is your least favorite combo of this?
Kobe and MJ.
Yeah.
Kobe and MJ.
Yeah.
Two guards are exactly the same. No height, really, compared to Braun and Wemby. They're both going to be playing the same position. They're both going to be ball handling. They're going to play great defense. Don't get me wrong. The guards on the other team, they're going to have to give it to the bigs. They're not going to score. But then the bigs are going to be scoring everything. So it's going to be like
it's the exact same problem that Phoenix is having right now, where you've got two guards in the starting lineup with Beal and Booker. It's just it's not going to work. Somebody's got to pass and somebody's got to score.
Yeah, I would think probably the least effective would probably be the rookie Kobe, rookie Wemby. Just for the Kobe is so not ball dominant. He can pass. He obviously passes, but Kobe wants to be the guy. Kobe wants that ball, and he with respect, he deserves it. It's Kobe. But I don't think that combo would work that well and all. So, all right. So just for fun, as a recap here, Mike, we'll start with you at the bottom. What's your pick?
Yes, sir. I got Braun and Wemby. Rookie Braun, rookie Wemby taking over the league, 82-0.
BC, your pick, man.
I got rookie MJ and rookie Wemby. They're the actual 82-0 team. The best guard, best big combo list.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, BC, on that one. Rookie MJ, rookie Wemby for me as well. Guys, let us know what you guys think out there on YouTube or even just in the comment section. Just let us know. I think this is a pretty fun debate out there, man. Mike, we alluded to it a little bit ago. Why don't you explain to the people a little bit more what we got going on possibly with this Millions thing?
Yep. We partnered up with this new platform called Millions. It's a sports broadcasting platform where we'll be showing our show there. They'll be helping us create some clips, some reels, get a lot of merchandise out there as well. So look out for that. It's a great opportunity for us, and we're very excited to start working with them. And today will be the first episode that we do with them. Right now, we're streaming live on the Millions app. So thank you guys once again for the opportunity, and hopefully we have a lot of success with each other.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that. BC, you got anything closing for the people, man?
I was just going to say it's great to be part of Millions, being great to be on this new platform. Looking forward to the many opportunities that are going to be to come. And, we got our show Saturday morning, 10 a.m. It's going to be a great show. We're more college football. We're going to cover more NFL games, making our picks like we usually do, kind of going over a little bit more in detail the picks we got right, the picks we got wrong from last week, and then just kind of adding that tally mark and that check mark moving forward. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, BC, tell them how excited you were to see USF go toe-to-toe with Alabama until the fourth quarter till 10 minutes.
Yo, I will say this. I was watching the show while I was working Universal that night. So I was checking in each quarter. I was like, oh man, it's such a close game. Man, we're hanging with them. And then I'm I go in to bump into my closing spot for the hour to wrap up. It's the fourth quarter started. I'm like, okay, it's about 21-16. This looks pretty good. And then I would go to check the final score after I get done at work. And I was like,
Yeah, they took off at the end. That's why they took off at the end. That defense,
That's the thing.
the USF defense couldn't hold up no more. They look tired. They look worn out. I mean, it's Alabama, dude. They're big, strong dudes over there. They're just gonna put the nail in the coffin at the end of that game, especially against a team like that. Now, if it was Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, I don't want to disrespect USF because they played a great game. It's just that you got to play a great game throughout the whole game, not just 3 quarters.
USF's played Alabama good twice.
Yeah, no, they have. They
give
again.
The biggest thing with USF is that they got to learn to finish games. That's the same thing that they struggled with the first matchup. That's the thing they're struggling with the second matchup. The one thing that upsets me, though, is that instead of having this game again next year, we got to wait for the year after Byron Brown's going to be gone, after a lot of these guys are going to be gone. It's like, come on now. What are you guys afraid of? Like, play them next year. Let's do the three-peat. Why not?
Yeah, my boy.
What y'all scared about? Being upset? We playing y'all at y'all's house anyway. Come on.
And my boy George from last week that said that you were delusional about USF going up against Alabama. He just said right now, damn, Brendan was right.
Y'all, man, they just got to learn to finish. Like that's
until they lost, and I'm like, yeah, 6-6.
They just got to learn to finish, man. No Diddy, but.
And no Diddy. Hey, but they played a good game, bro. They played a good game for real.
I'm excited for them moving forward, like in the next few weeks. Again, if they play the way they did against Bama, like those first 3 quarters, this season's going to be great for them. If they don't learn to execute through all 4, probably going to be a little bit like last year.
But I'll tell you right now, they keep doing good against these high-powered profile teams in the NCAA. A lot of people are going to look to USF to go to school there and play there, man. The weather's good. Yeah. Florida is always good to be at. They're going to be like, yo, these guys got a program that's up and coming, man. So if they keep playing good like that,
they got the new stadium coming. They've got a lot of new stuff down the pipeline. So USF is definitely one of those schools on the rise, and they got it. It's an exciting place to be part of. So.
Well, in some other major news, Florida got a win, baby. Let's go, Gators. Beat the mighty Samford Bulldogs, baby. There we go.
Bulldogs. Is that a decent
really be around for one more week, man. No, but for real, we'll talk about more college. We'll talk about more college coming up next on Saturday. But shout out to Florida for finally getting that win. Now we got to go against Texas A&M. Let's actually get some lagway action.
That's going to be a good game. That's going to be
definitely a fun game, and Florida definitely has a chance. Texas A&M is not as
UM 2-0, baby.
UM is looking good too.
Spanking throughout
Saturday
the league.
Can't come fast enough, man. We got a lot of college football talk coming up. All right, guys, we're going to call this one a night. For Views from the Stands, I am Steve Brennan. We got G Mike. We have BC. We are out, and we really appreciate you guys all be taking a part of this. Thanks for the millions out there, the new program, and we hope that we guys can work with you guys a bunch. We're out.